Okay, so welcome to another video. I'm here at work and light's quickly dying down, setting, so I gotta go ahead and record this intro. As the title suggests, this video is about Alisandra's seizures and just what they're like. We're gonna do another video about stuff that we've tried to do for her, as well as stuff that did work and didn't work. So stay tuned for that one. But before we get into that video, which Lauren's going to do, many of you saw in my Mustang Week video me unloading my van full of tools. So I thought it would be pretty cool while I'm still here at work to show what I do, so I'll go ahead and do that. So now we're going to get into the video about Alisandra. We set up a little interview with light and then a shower curtain. Eventually we're going to try and get a real softbox and some lighting, but we just can't afford to yet. And that's going to up the production value. If you have any questions about her, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. If you want to know anything specific, if you have any questions about the seizures or about CMV, go ahead and let us know and we'll try and address it in an upcoming video. Alright, well I'm done rambling. I've rambled way too much, so we're going to go ahead and get into that video about Alisandra, so enjoy.
Okay, tonight we're giving Alisandra her evening medicines, and she gets 3 different seizure medications right now. She gets all of her medicines through her G-tube. Just like she gets everything through her G-tube now. She has a seizure disorder called Lennox-Gastaut, and basically it's just a seizure that just means that she has all kinds of different seizures. It's not just like one thing, but she's being managed really well right now with what she's taking. Seems to be working pretty well for her, but she still does have numerous seizures every day. She has, like today, she had probably 4 just during her 1-hour therapy session. The physical therapist was here today. So it just kind of depends. You know, sometimes she'll go for hours and hours without having one, then she'll have several, but usually it's several or quite a few during the day. Went for a really long time without having seizures when she was a baby. If she had seizures, we didn't know about it, but it's very common for children like her who have brain injury. She was brain injured while still in the womb from CMV. We first noticed something weird going on. She was probably around 1 or 1.5, somewhere around there, and we didn't really know what it was at that time, but it can be kind of scary, and it definitely was more scary in the past, but now it's just sort of part of everyday life. Alisandra, because of the CMV, has calcifications in her brain, and she doesn't have the correct amount of convolutions in her brain for her age. So she has a lot going on in her brain that our neurologist has described seizures as basically being the body's response, and we don't exactly know why the body responds with convulsions, but it's a response to an irritant in the brain, caused in the brain. So something is going on in her brain that is irritating the system, and so her body responds by convulsions and seizures. Having a child that can have a seizure at any moment definitely makes you have to just be able to keep cool and keep driving without having a wreck, even though your daughter's having a seizure in the back seat and there's no other adult. Having peace, even though something like that is going on, and staying calm and not getting really stressed or upset about it. I think it'll be okay. She's having a seizure right now, so this is kind of what it looks like. Doesn't look like it's gonna be too bad. They normally, I think probably the longest ones ever lasted is, what would you say, 45 seconds?
Maybe a minute.
Yeah, maybe a minute, which can seem really long if she's turning blue. But, I mean, as you can see, she's pretty much got her normal color back. And like I said, you know, they're under control right now, but she still has several, I say several, but I mean probably a dozen a day. And
too many to count.
Yeah, I mean, I don't count. We've had a pretty good day. She had quite a few during therapy and stuff, but she kind of got over that little spell. Yeah, her breathing is still a little weird, and you can tell her eyes kind of jitter from side to side and stuff like that, so there's still residual effects. But to encourage someone else with a child like this, I think I would just say, just trust in God and hang in there and just keep pressing forward and don't dwell on the negative, and use the resources that God has given you, whatever that means. You know, if that's a neurologist, or I think having someone who lives with it day in and day out, same as I do, having my husband be right there with me every step of the way is very encouraging. You do feel alone, because if you don't know anyone else who has this problem, which we don't know anyone personally who's anything like Alisandra, so sometimes it feels like you're alone. So having someone who understands and is going through it with you is really encouraging to me. I think the biggest thing that's comforted me is my relationship with God, and knowing that He loves her and that He wants what's best for her. And knowing myself that it doesn't matter what happens on this life. She has a brother, her twin brother Tiberius, and he's in heaven. He doesn't have any of this trouble. He doesn't have to deal with seizures or being in a dark, silent world like Alisandra does. It's not our choice what happens, you know, to other people, even our own children. It's not something that we can control, but it's okay. I mean, God is in control, and God loves her, and God knew what was going to happen with her. And I believe that He gives her peace and comfort somehow. And that gives me peace and comfort.